Holy crud. Hey everyone, it is Zach, and today, last night, we got some news about the upcoming format for Series 13, which will basically take us up until a couple weeks before Scarlet and Violet. So this will be post-Worlds, this will be on the ladder. We don't know if it's going to be the VGC format yet, but let's talk about that in a second. Series 13 is going to be whatever's in the Pokedex, whatever is available in Sword and Shield, including mythicals. So there's no limit on mythicals. There's no limit on restricteds. So you could run a team full of just restricteds and Mew and all that stuff, which is crazy. It is something, weirdly, I thought in a laddering video, I said something about what do you want Series 13 to be, and I said something about mythicals. I thought that would have been really cool, so I'm really excited about this. But I thought they would swap out the restricteds for the mythicals. I can understand why not, because not everyone is going to have access to a lot of these mythicals, and we'll talk about that as well. But if we go down, it's the same format. They still have to have the battle ready mark if they're not originally from Pokemon Sword and Shield. All are set to level 50. It's doubles, and any Pokemon that is obtained, including mythicals. Here we see the restricted list. So in this case, restricteds are also counting the mythical Pokemon as well. This time we now have Mew in the format, Celebi, Jirachi, Victini, Keldeo, Genesect, Diancie, Magearna, Marshadow, Zeraora, Meltan, and Melmetal, and Zarude. So this is going to be fun. And it's really weird. I actually, when it was announced, it was the one day I changed some furniture around in the game room, so I wasn't on Twitter. And I really didn't find out about it until maybe an hour or two after. I believe it leaked out. Because if you look on the Pokemon website, the news isn't up yet on the Pokemon website, but it was announced officially. So I think it might have leaked out and they might have just announced it just to get behind it. I don't think it's something that they wanted to come out before Worlds, weirdly enough. But Joe Merrick, the webmaster of CRB.net, posted on his Twitter account where you could find some of these mythical Pokemon if you don't have access to them yet. That's the one thing that sucks about this, and I get why they kept restricteds in and not just left it to mythical Pokemon, is because some of these Pokemon, if you don't have already, or if you miss the opportunity for the distribution, it might be a couple years or a couple months before you can get another one. There are some that are available no matter what. So Mew you can get in Pokemon Go, you can get in Brilliant Diamond if you have Let's Go. Cerebi you can get in the Virtual Console, but then you need to have Bank. You need to have Pokemon Bank and Pokemon Transfer and transfer it up. And if you don't have Virtual Console Crystal yet, it's going to be a pain in the butt to get it that way. Jirachi you can get in Go. Victini is available from Go or past events. Keldeo is in the Crown Tundra, so if you have the Crown Tundra DLC, you can get access to Keldeo. Genesect will be in Pokemon Go raids in a couple of days. And then Pokemon like Diancie, Volcanion, Marshadow, Zeraora, if you didn't get the events, you're kind of pooched. Or if you don't have one in Go for Zarude, and you didn't get one in past events, you're kind of pooched. So if you don't want to miss an event, I recommend you follow CRB and Joe Merrick on Twitter, because they'll always announce that stuff. But Magearna is one of the important ones. You can get it through the QR code in Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. Once again, you do need Bank, you do need Home, and be able to transfer them up. That's going to be a little bit of a pain in the butt for some people, especially newer players that might not have access to Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, and Sun and Moon. I have them, so I'm not too concerned about it. Plus, I got the one Magearna from Pokemon Home. Meltan and Melmetal, you can get it from Pokemon Go. You can open up the Pokemon box, but if you don't have candies already to evolve Meltan into Melmetal, it's going to be a pain in the butt to get there. But, I mean, you have until after August, so If you start now, you could have a metal ready by then. So now I kind of want to take a look at what I think I want to try and what we'll see. Obviously, first off is magearna. So there is the original form if you got it from Pokemon Home. If you get it from Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, you're going to get the Soul Heart, the regular form, the gray form. It is still in Fairy, so it does conflict with Zacian. So you're kind of going to have to pick which one do you want on your team. Do you want a Zacian or do you want a magearna? Because without that, they have common weaknesses and it's bad type matchup. The reason why this Pokemon is so scary is because, one, it gets great moves. It is Fairy Sill, which is a very good offensive and defensive typing. But you get Floral Cannon, which lowers Magearna's special attack by 2. If you're Dynamaxing this Mon, that's not going to matter. And with the ability, you can recover it if you play well. It gets Flash Cannon. It also gets, what was it? Steel Roller and Steel Beam, which are very strong moves. You want Steel Beam. So Steel Beam Dynamaxed is going to be like a base 150 max Steel Strike. I'm thinking it has coverage moves. It has like Ice Beam. Oh, I didn't know it had Ice Beam. I just thought it had a Roar Beam. But I would go with Ice Beam. Just to have something against those ground types, especially if you're already boosted. And something else, this Pokemon gets Trick Room. So it has a base 65 speed. Not too good, not too bad. It's one of those things where it could operate fine in either Trick Room or out of Trick Room as long as it's well supported. But the ability. So if you haven't used Magearna, which if you play VGC you haven't, or if you haven't heard of this Pokemon yet, it has an ability called Soul Heart. Soul Heart states that whenever a Pokemon is knocked out in battle, Magearna gets a +1 to its special attack. This isn't Pokemon that you knock out. This isn't your opponent's Pokemon that you knock out. If any Pokemon faints while Magearna is on the field, you're getting a +1 out of it. So it can really steamroll if it goes unchecked. The next one you want to watch out for is Zeraora. So one thing about Zeraora is Zeraora gets access to Fake Out. And then it has Volt Absorb, so it could switch in on Thunders from Kyogre. It could switch into other electric attacks. So that's something you need to be mindful about. And it also gets, what's its punching move? Plasma Fist. Normal moves become electric type. So not the best because you have to be really predictive about it. But this could shut down a Regieleki. If the Regieleki's only non-electric move is Hyper Beam, you can hit it with a Plasma Fist and then this turn. So, yeah, because Zeraora is not going to outspeed unless there's Tailwind up. But it still could be a really good Mon. It gets Close Combat. It gets Knockoff. It gets Electro Web. Good for speed control. Pretty fast Mon at a 143 base speed. Not the fastest. And it has a pretty high attack. Next up, something I think you want to watch out for is Mew. Mew can get most of any move, so you really don't know what to expect with it. You want to expect coverage moves for team synergy. So if it's a team that's weak to ice or steel, or expect flamethrower or something like that, it could also get Trick Room. It can get Taunt. So a lot of things could be capable with Mew. So really just go through and look up the common sets. It's base 100 all around, so it could be a physical attacker, it could be a special attacker. It all depends on what kind of utility it needs. So we talked about Zeraora having Fake Out, and that is going to be important because there's not going to be a lot of mons that you're going to see with fake out or supporting moves. Mew can have a lot of supporting moves as a mythical. Zeraora has fake out and electro whip for speed control, and a lot of these mons want to be more offensive. But then there is Zarude. I think Zarude is interesting because it has leaf guard, so if the sun's up, it cannot get a status, so that's something that you could play towards with a Groudon team. The Zarude could be there to threaten Kyogres the way Rillaboom has been, but I mean, at that point, like, just run a Gastron. The other interesting thing about it is that this mon has a healing move, so you can have a couple of attacks on it. Power Whip, great move on it. Knockoff, no knockoff. How is this a dark type that doesn't get knockoff? Does get access to close combat though, and Darkest Lariat if you need the dark type move. But jungle healing is interesting because it heals users and allies. So this is the first time Zarude's been able to be used in a VGC double format style officially. So it will heal 1/4 of health. Status is cured. So you can cure status on with jungle healing, and then leaf guard will prevent it if the sun is up. You're still going to see a lot of Zacian. You're still going to see a lot of Calyrex Shadow Rider. I also think the two big Intimidate mons you're still going to see Incineroar. I want to say you're going to see Landorus still, because Landorus actually does do decently against Magearna with the Max Quakes, which is why, like, if I have a Magearna, I'm probably going to have Ice Beam on it if I can fit it into its move slot. I don't know about Fury Cannon, because that means I would have to Dynamax it unless I'm nuking my own special attack. But if you get a knockout, it's only -1. Don't know if that's worth it yet. We'll see. Also, what you're going to see a lot of is Whimsicott. Whimsicott, Prankster, fastest Prankster mon with Tailwind. This is so Prankster, Tailwind, Whimsicott. That's what it's been used for. Let's see, is there any other mythicals? Melmetal. Melmetal is going to be one that a lot of people have. Very high special defense. It gets down to 65. It's still going to be outsped by Ice Rider, but I don't think that will be a problem with its disgustingly high defense. It has a weaker special defense, so like an Assault Vest is really good on this mon. So 44 investment and you get on a beneficial nature and you get 150. Like, with this amount, like, do you really need the adamant nature? Crazy good Trick Room on. You get Darkest Lariat for the Shadow Riders. You can get Brick Break to break screens. Double Iron Bash is really good because it hits twice and it has a 30% chance of flinch. So that is going to be really fun if you can get Trick Room set up. But once again, like, Melmetal, Zacian, Magearna, all steel types, so they're all going to have common weaknesses that you have to watch out for. So expect to see, just like with Zacian, expect to see Kyogre with these mons. Another one, Victini. Victini is, people are really concerned about this Pokemon and its allies have its accuracy multiplied by 1.1, so a 10% accuracy increase. And that's going to be fun for things like Sleep Powder and like P-Blades, so you can put it next to a Groudon and really hit it hard. Once again, this is another base 100, so it can be physical, it could be special. That's something you're going to have to watch out for. I don't know much about Victini. It does get all of the dragons, Zekrom and Reshiram. It does get both of their moves with Bolt Strike and Blue Flare. So you have a 20% chance to paralyze the target. You have a 20% chance to burn the target. And if we bring up the calculator, 85 times 1.1 should be 93. Pretty good. And that's with your ally Pokemon as well. I think Marshadow might get used just as much as Victini. Technician, any move that is 60 base power or less gets boosted, and it also has the signature move. I used this in the Spooky Cup on Sun and Moon. I don't know if it was Spooky Cup then, but it was allowed because it was a ghost type Pokemon. So it was really cool to use that. I think that format was singles though. Spectral Thief isn't boosted by Technician, but what it does do is steal the target's boost before dealing damage. So say you switch in and you hit a Zacian, you're going to steal its +1, so it's no longer going to have a +1, and then you're going to have a +1 before you hit. So that could be really good on catching a setup mon off guard. Like if you stall out Trick Room and then hit a boosted Calyrex Ice with it, like that's going to be pretty dangerous, and it has pretty decent speed, pretty good attack. But let me know which ones you're interested in the comments down below. One other thing I want to note is that Victory Road has been retweeting a lot of good information for this format. Apparently some Japanese players have experimented with this format before. So as you can see, it's kind of small here, but this is basically they call it Windfish. So Whimsicott, Zacian, Kyogre. You see a lot of Yveltal, a lot of Marshadow because it checks these ones. But these are stacked teams. Like, look at this one. Rain and Sun with Venusaur and Yveltal and Zacian. Like, this is all going to be fun. But yeah, Windfish dominated, so you're going to see a lot of stuff like this at the beginning of the format. You're going to see a lot of people experimenting with Magearna and its ability to boost. That's definitely something I want to check out. Is this format on Showdown yet? No, doesn't look like it. Oh, it's a matter of time before someone like brings up a server that has it. And last but not least, Wednesday we are getting news for Scarlet and Violet. So Pokemon's just thrown out information in the past 24 hours. So we are getting a new format where we get to finally use mythicals in a VGC-like format. We do not know if this is going to be the rule format for in-person tournaments. Following Worlds, they might have this on ladder, but stay with Series 12 rule format for the competitive landscape. And I think that's good because it cuts off a lot of players who may not have access to these mythical mons, whether they lost it or they're newer players. So I think it's good if they keep it at Series 12 for the in-person tournaments, but this is a fun way to finish off the ladder for Pokemon Sword and Shield. But I want to know, what do you think? Are you sick of the restricteds and now there's even more to worry about? Are you bummed because you don't have any of these mons yourself? Let me know what you think in the comments down below. If you guys enjoyed this content, do not forget to like and subscribe, especially if you want to see some Series 13 content down the road, because I will definitely have that. That's going to be all for today. Till next time, I'm Zach. We'll see everyone later.